Hello and welcome to Winter's Edge. In this episode, the boys travel to Rulon, the great walled city in the north, and stay the night there. I'll be drawing this picture, and as I draw this picture, you can listen to the adventure. You can see this picture is quite cartoony, but that's the theme I went for, just to match the flavour of this adventure. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll catch you at the end. Bye. Okay, so you guys have spent your night at the Halfway Inn, previously known as the Happy Harpy Inn. It was an uneventful night. You wake up in good health, everyone fully recovered.
Excellent.
A long rest. You wake up in the morning, the bartender's there. He's looking a little dishevelled himself, like he hasn't had a good night's sleep. I think the enormity of having a new set of corpses down in his basement is starting to weigh on him. He might not be the smartest guy, but he can start to see this might not go well for him in the long run. But even so, he cooks you guys up a breakfast of eggs and bacon. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, is there anything you guys want to do here before heading out?
Yeah. Did we get any gold? We did, didn't we?
You guys cleaned up.
Yeah, we got a bit of cash, eh?
I thought you were going to say, is there any wenches around?
Yeah.
$8 bottles of whiskey.
Just old Pete.
Big O's a pretty generous type of dude, and he wants to. He's seen that the bartender's had a bit of a shit time.
Yeah.
And he's just going to see if he's got any good whiskies or any good beers or whatever, mate, so he can spend his gold on some booze, eh?
We'll look at the alcohol list.
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's get a master.
He says, he's still, what the hell am I going to do with these bodies? But yeah, I've got new stock, I've all stocked up. Do you want to roll yourself a D6?
Oh yeah, bro, Daddy can roll himself a D6, eh?
Let's see what I've got out the
4.
back. Oh, I've got some of that, I've got some wobbling whiskey. You've had that before.
Yeah.
That gives you that +2 to armour class for 10 minutes.
Yes.
This actually was the staple of the Mermaid's Legs, the one you had with lovers. So yeah, he's got a bottle of that. He says it's normally 15 gold, but well, you kind of helped me out last night, so I'll give it to you for 10 gold. Yeah, he's like,
Can't help you out. No, that's all good, bro. I'm happy to patronise your station. You cooked us some pretty good bacon and eggs, and I mean, it's not your fault that you ran into trouble, eh? So yeah, I'll give you 10 gold for that.
Yeah, and he goes, but look, I'm not a brave man. If more Blackwing Reavers come around asking questions, I'm probably going to have to blab. You know?
Oh, well, you know what they say, bro? Like, back in the hood, the snitches get stitches, eh? And if you...
Let's get you to make a little intimidation check. Maybe you can tell him to keep quiet.
Okay.
So did we kill a bunch of people and go upstairs and then he dragged the bodies down to his basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snitches get stitched.
Intimidation. Okay, so my intimidation.
But yeah,
is
you can change that plan too if you like. There's also a wagon out front.
I rolled a 15 flat.
I like it. Yeah, you see him pale when he looks at you too, because he's seen what you guys can do.
Yeah.
You just beat up a bunch of these fed Blackwing Reavers, and he'll go, okay, yeah, I'll keep my mouth shut. I might just go on holiday for 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, I'll say to him, like, oh no, I didn't mean to scare you, bro, but like, you know, if you could keep it quiet, then all good, but if it's going to cost you, like, you know, your physical health, then, you know, you do what you have to do to survive, bro. Like, I know that these dudes out here are pretty rough, so all good, but I hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you. Thanks. And wobbling whiskey, 10 gold?
Yeah, sweet, so I'll take that off. Can I, like, get, like, an estimation of, like, how many drinks of that I can have before it runs out?
Yeah, I reckon it's, you know, it's almost like those Drunken Master movies where the guy takes a massive swig. So I'll say 4 swigs out.
Okay, so I'll just put like 4 charges.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Decent amount, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a decent amount to drink every time you're having a slug of whiskey, for sure. It's like a 40 ounce,
Yeah. But I've also got to roll against it as well.
Yeah.
So I think that balances out pretty well.
Once you start taking, say, because you've still got a few charges left of your fire brew as well.
Oh, I forgot that I got that. Yeah. Fire.
So say if you took both charges, a skull of your wobbling whiskey and a skull of your fire brew, you'd have to make a Constitution save 10 DC, and then you would have a negative effect.
Because it's 5 each time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if I have 2, then it's going to be 10.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how many charges on the fire brew?
There were going to be 4 on that, and I think you took 1 charge.
I blew it in someone's face. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Set a dude on fire in his tavern. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyone else want to do anything while you're here? You're hearing Big O chatting away with the bartender.
I think Zeph just goes in the morning. He just goes straight outside,
Okay, and as I say, there is a wagon at the Black Wing
Road. Is it like just a tavern in the middle of the countryside kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, there used to actually be a whole town here.
Okay.
But over time, it's just been abandoned down to its foundations.
Okay.
And this tavern has stood there because it fits almost halfway between Yor and Roulon. You're moving on to the big walled city of Roulon, where the king of Roulon resides. You haven't ever gone that far.
No.
But so it's a day's journey by foot to this tavern or slow wagon, and then another day to Roulon. So a lot of people use it as a stopover place.
Cool. Is there a story behind the town being abandoned, or is it just this?
There's some rumours.
Yeah.
You've heard a few. Some say it was burnt down by a dragon. Some say the entire town just left overnight. So there's a lot of, and you being in a sailor pirate town, the tales get taller and taller.
Yeah.
But there was a general feeling that something's happened there, and everyone loves to put their own spin on what happened as to cause it to be abandoned.
I'd like to just sort of wander around and have a look at some ruins and see if I can find any dragon fire scorch marks or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
We hunting dragons now, boy.
Yeah, there's a dragon hiding.
Maybe in a few levels. 13.
13. So you come across some old foundations. This actual tavern is surrounded by a cemetery. So you're reading the gravestones there, and you realise nothing's been new added there for 10 years. From that investigation, I'd say you'd figure this whole place has been abandoned about 10 years, the foundations and whatnot. Probably people passing through have taken a lot of stuff, just taking rocks and bricks and
Yeah.
you know how they do out in the country.
Yeah.
I've got a bias against country people. So there is a mystery there, and your previous characters. Can't remember your thief's name. Can you?
Jasper.
Yeah. You sort of uncovered a little bit of it when you guys went down into that crypt, and there was a little ritual going on and stuff like that. Cool. Mystery for another day, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we go, I'll go up to the guy and be like, don't worry, mate. If these Reaver bastards come back, just let us know and we'll take care of them for you.
Yeah, and he goes, okay, I'll let you know, but I'm not sure if I should find out your names or not. What do you reckon? What's your name?
It's I'll tell you, it's Arthur.
Okay.
So you're going to say Big O?
So is it Arthur? Okay, yeah.
I know, but what's your randomly generated name and characteristics?
Yeah, they call me Philo.
Philo.
Yes. My mother and father didn't think much about it at the time. Just happened in like the last 5 seconds. Philo is what they call me.
Do you collect magical philo pastries?
I'm a pastry chef. That's my thing. Yeah. But he says, I think what I'm going to do is lie low. I mean, we can close up here. People just bypass it or camp out in their wagons or whatever. and I'll just let this blow over. I think that's going to be the smartest thing to do. Either they're going to come for the money that I owe them from the last bunch of guys down in that crypt, or they're going to come looking for their... These Blackwing Reavers are everywhere. They're like a vermin, a pest. They're a huge organisation that's growing. They operate in small units, and they pass through this way all the time. I'm just going to... Yeah, I think I'll go keep my head down for a few weeks.
Right. I'll give him some gold.
Okay.
Just to pay for his inconvenience.
Thank you, Arthur. Arthur the dwarf.
What's it? I'll give him like 5 gold.
Wow.
Is that like a stingy amount, or is that...
That's great.
That's good?
Yeah.
To shut down for a couple of weeks?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember
He's
what...
like, I'm retired.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 1 gold a day?
Yeah, it's modest living, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'll be
for a
like
while.
getting $200, I guess.
Cool.
Something like that.
Chuck him a few gold.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was about $50 for a gold coin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my rough calculation anyway.
Cool. Yeah, so he looks really chuffed with that, and he says, I'll take this guy's secret with me. Good luck out there, and just keep your mouth shut about this as well. I don't want it to come back to me either. That I'm keeping a graveyard of Blackwing Reavers under the tavern. Yeah. And okay, so Corks comes out, and he's eating his bacon and eggs, and he leaps on the wagon, and he goes, "All right, lads, let's roll!" And he yells out to you while you're rummaging around in the city, "Zeph, we're going, lad. Come on. Nibbles up the front."
I'll grab the cork that he
He's
put around
about to
my
put
neck.
his hand out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
would we have a tune to those?
Yeah, so did you guys get a bead on what you've got?
Yeah, I just found the original item and renamed it in my inventory.
Cool.
I fully forgot. I think I've got it in my notes.
Yeah, so you got a spell storing ring,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool for a
Yeah,
sorcerer.
but I was reading up on it, and anyone can store spells in it. Anyone who can cast spells can
Yeah.
store spells in it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, so they could give spells that you normally can't cast. Ah, that's awesome. Good Corks, eh? It's a hobby to get into. And what did you get? Freedom of
Ring of...
the Slippery Pete? I
Yeah,
believe.
Slippery Pete. It was a ring of free action. So, don't get affected by difficult terrain, and magic can't reduce my speed or paralyze me.
That's great. Yeah.
I can't remember what mine was. Do you remember? Oh, sorry, I'll write it down. I thought I wrote it down, but I must have not saved it.
Hang on, I'll call out a few.
Did you take the tabernacle?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
think
was
you got
me. I got the choir.
Oh,
The tempting Toledo?
yeah, and it acted as a Parapata wound closure, I believe.
Was it?
I think.
What were the other ones?
There was the hot potato, but we don't know about. The break bone blocker, which we don't know anything. Bobbing Betty, the soul catcher, slippery feet, lucky long lid, and the murder curdler.
It must have been that.
But the murder curdler you
The
can't
Topping
get.
Toledo.
Yeah, which acts as a Parapat of wound closure. So you can just say you've got a Parapata wound closure. But if you want to add flavour, you can call it the Tempting Toledo.
Tempting Toledo.
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 If
I
you,
call
just,
it
if you just add the original item, you can actually just rename it in your
Oh, cool.
inventory.
Oh, there's one.
And it acts as a what, sorry?
Parapat, spelled Peripat, and that should be the only Parapat thing in there.
Oh, I've just got it in other positions, because
Oh.
I'm just writing it down there, because going through the inventory stuff,
Oh,
and
okay.
the online
Of,
thing is just...
yeah, Parapat of wound closure.
So that's just essentially like bandaging up.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up again. I
It's,
think
yeah.
I think it gives you maximum healing after a long. or
That's
maybe-
right. That's what it does,
Because when you
yeah.
spend hit dice on a short rest,
Yeah,
it's maximum on your hit dice.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, you can almost treat it like you just heal up really well,
Yeah.
recover really quickly.
No, I do remember now.
Yeah.
I remember it being after
Oh, what?
after I have short rests or long rests, I can roll to the max hit die or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah, cool.
Cool. And Nibble's got the soul catcher, I believe,
Yeah.
which came with a.
Soul.
So it acts as a ring of mind shielding.
Yeah, which
Um,
means what? People can't read my thoughts or
Uh,
determine whether you are lying or know your alignment or know your creature type.
Yeah. Yeah, so which
You
game
just
that?
give it away, though.
Yeah.
I can't tell what kind of creature he is.
Yeah, I believe if there isn't a soul in it as well, if you die, your soul goes into it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You don't want to ring your soul into that unless it already
So
has
is
the soul.
it Corks's previous adventuring party?
Don't listen to it. Yeah. Okay, and so Corks takes the, what was it called? The murder curdler off you. Says, thanks, lad. Good on you. Hop on up. How you doing today? And you're now cloaked, aren't you? In a heavy cloak.
Cloak with a hood, no eye patch.
No eye patch.
Oh,
Leaving
good
an old
Corks.
life behind.
Good Corks. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. He doesn't believe you.
I'm pretty sure you can't tell if I'm lying.
Is that what the thing does?
Yeah.
Really?
You made it up, bro.
I haven't even read half the stuff. Oh, wow, that's amazing. He's like, good.
Immune to magic that allows creatures to read your thoughts.
Oh,
to know if
okay.
you're lying.
So they can still make perception
Yeah.
checks. But how are you acting these days?
Just pretty quiet at the moment. He's still processing everything.
Yeah, but not glum or anything, just thinking.
No.
Cool.
I think he needs to find a hat of disguise at some point.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar along those lines would be useful for you.
One of the corks. That's he'll actually ask, hey, corks, do any of the corks let you, change your appearance to look different?
Let me just think back on my collection here. No, but
I just know magic's real scarce around this area.
it is around this area, but maybe when we get to the monks, we can have a talk with them.
That's a good idea.
They deal in all sorts of weird stuff, spirits and things like that.
Thanks, corks.
All right, ha! And the horse moves very slowly forward. So how's everyone sitting in here? Is it the same setup? I believe Zeph, you were on the
He's on the back in kind of hyperactive because he hasn't really
just running
travelled
around.
anywhere. Yeah, so kind of just like sitting on the back and then getting up and walking to the front and then walking back again.
Yeah.
Just looking all around.
Yeah.
What's the
okay.
countryside? Just open?
Oh yeah, I'm about to go into that because it's quite interesting. Going from Yor to the tavern, there was no farmland or anything, and you know that once you get outside of Yor, you fall outside of Pirate Bowl's protection, so it's just dangerous to run a farm near a pirate city with pirates, I guess.
And pirates outside.
Yeah, especially because the whole protection racket basically exists within the town, so people feel protected within there. But as you start to leave this tavern and make your way to Roulon, moving slowly through the countryside, you start to see farmland starting to roll ahead, and over the hills is farms, and there's even people starting to, you can see people working on the fields, and some of them even wave as you go by. What's really interesting and catches your eye is you start to see these huge, almost monolithic creations, like people have made huge sculptures out of wood and stone and steel, and they're just frozen in half movement throughout these farms. There's even farming people working beside them. You can see they've been here a long time. Birds are nested in them and rooted. You know what these are?
I know. I don't know if Zeph knows what these are.
Yeah, Zeph will definitely know
Yeah.
from the history of being in this place.
He's going to leap off the cart and run up to the first one
Okay.
and check it out.
Yeah, so you see little Zeph run off to these things. You guys don't know what these are, just not being locals to this world.
Looking at them, are they all, like you said, they were humanoid figures?
It seems like they've been shaped in all sorts of things. Some seem almost humanoid-like, ape-like, like on huge on their knuckles with big backs and spikes of metal and that sticking out of the grass that's growing on top of them and over them. But others are almost a bit smaller, still the size of a wagon or whatever, but almost cat-like looking. They look like they could have once been fast. Well, if they didn't just look like statues. And yeah, some of them are made purely out of very primitive materials like wood wrapped with leathers that are now rotting and stretched, but others even look like they're made out of really chunky steel that's been just hammered together, and that's all rusting over and stuff.
I think I'll like nudge Corks and go, "Hey Corks, what are those things?"
Yeah, and he said, yeah, this is probably the whole reason why magic's been banished around this area. There was this, let me tell you guys what this is all about. There was he's going to tell you his story as well as he can. You know he's a sailor and he gets things wrong and he exaggerates stuff and he loves to tell his tale. So he says, yeah, about 50 years ago there was this magician at the school in Yor. Yor used to have a huge magic school. I don't know if you saw it there. It was at the back. There was ruins, all destroyed now. There was a wizard magician there that was doing the wrong sort of magic. I don't know what they mean by that, but he was doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. He did it in front of the king of Rulorn, apparently, and the king was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. And the head of the school said, yes, this is forbidden. And the king said, well, banish him. And the guy said, yeah, you're banished. And so this guy, who was a Udai, like you are, Nibbles, he was like, hey, that's not cool. I was really good at what I was doing. It just didn't quite go right. And they said, no, get out. You're out of the kingdom. And so he left. And he went into that forest. And, you know, that forest we saw when we were leaving Yor, and I was on the left there, and you guys just couldn't shut up about that forest. It was that one. He stayed in there for ages and started making these huge constructs you see here. He started out really basic, ones made out of leather and wood, and then those ones he infused with spirits that he captured and brought them to life. And those ones helped him make the bigger ones, like that one there, and you see this huge 3-story one. It's just got piston hands, looking almost quite advanced. There's gears and mechanics on it. A huge rock face has been stuck on top. That's all mouldy over and that. Anyway, he bought this whole army and he just crushed the school and said, that's what you get for banishing me. And then he was like, man, I'm doing really well here. I'll go and beat up the king as well and take his kingdom. And so he marched the army through Yor. He marched them all the way up that scar, which I don't think you guys ever visited, but it's in Yor, whole destroyed area of corrupted magic. No one goes in because that's his magic, the bad magic that he was doing. It just corrupts everything. Crushed the school, and then he said, come on, my army that I made, we're going to go to Rulorn and knock down its walls, and we'll get that king out, and I'm going to be ruler. So he marched them all up there and got really far, and, well, no one quite knows why, but all his machines started to stop and freeze. And by the time we get to Rulorn, you'll see the armies of these constructs has spread out, and they almost got to the wall, but not one of them touched the wall. And the king was all like, oh, magic shouldn't be this. I should be the most powerful person in the kingdom. And look what one person can do if they learn magic. So no more magic. Everyone agreed. And the citizens were looking at these massive constructs and going, yeah, we don't want this. And so the king said, well, I'm going to leave them all around here so you guys know how bad magic can get. And all the citizens were like, hey, the king's great. And we hate magic now. And so they banished a heap of wizards, and wizards had to go live in the forest or pretend they weren't wizards anymore. And yeah, that's what those things are.
Oh, thanks, Corks.
Steve's going to climb up one of the tallest ones that he can.
Yeah.
Is the cart still moving at this point?
Yeah, but
cool.
you know you can run and catch after it. Even though Cork's like,
It's like I can run pretty fast if I have to.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, you scramble up one, you disturb a rat's nest that's in there, and they all scramble through it. You get a good view. One of the farmers working on the field is watching you curiously, and you can sort of see that, yeah, there was a time when these were like, monuments to how bad magic can be, but now it's just become backdrop items to these farmers who work around them and stuff like that. From where you are, you can actually see in the distance this walled city of Rulon that you've heard of, and it's huge, and the walls just look like the highest things you've ever seen, because in Yor nothing's really built very well. A lot of the shanty towns built on top of each other, and to see this sort of shining white city in the distance, it takes your breath away. It was something you had in your head what it would look like, and it just even looks bigger. And so you can see this huge walled city. You can see little towns are built up against the walls on the outside, the farmers' towns and stuff like that. And in the centre you can see even a higher wall, and in that is a castle that reaches up to the sky, and there's buildings in there and flags waving and birds circling. It's a sight. And from there you can see rolling fields of farmlands, lots of roads leading into Rulon.
Cool. He'll stay up there for a little bit too long, and then realise he's getting left behind, and then scamper back down and run after everybody else.
Yeah, you guys never see Zeph again. He never manages to catch up.
Can't catch that 4 mile an hour car.
That's right. Yeah. So once Zeph catches up, Corks has been telling these guys a tale. You know it well. Maybe even a slightly different version. You know a bit more about the magic that this guy was casting. What he was trying to do is, the wizards in this world, they cast colours of magic, and and the good ones can weave colours to make different colours. So they can, your average one can say a healing magic might be the blue colour, and a aggressive magic is the red colour. And if they combine those, they can come up with, say, a blue and a red becomes the purple, and being able to weave the blue and the red adds to your magic. And the purple is almost like telekinesis, using control of blue and the aggressiveness of red. But this guy tried to weave all three colours, the red, the green and the blue, to weave the white is what they call it. And it's forbidden because no one has the pure colours in them, the three pure colours. So whenever they do it, it becomes this muddy mess, and you get this corrupted magic. So he came close, but in front of the king and that, he created this corrupted magic that melted stone and warped walls. So that's what you know about it.
So become a wizard, you're saying?
Yeah, if you want to have power over a kingdom. So with all this new knowledge, you guys start to make your way to Rulon, and Corks says, well, we've got some choices, lads. I mean, Rulon's going to be our stopover for the night, but we can choose to stay in some of the towns on the outside and bypass the city altogether, or we can go into the city walls. There's some interesting towns where we can stay. There's one that has a tavern called Rusty Jack, which is built into one of those constructs. It's quite a sight, and they make really good beer there. Or we can go into the town. They've got the marketplace in there, and a lot of great taverns and inns we can stay at too. What do you guys think?
Big O wakes up in the back of the car. And he's just like, what? He hasn't heard any of this.
So he's like, don't worry, we're talking over here.
Nibbles would be pretty keen to go to a marketplace. So he'd probably say maybe, he'd ask, what is the likelihood that we're going to run into either pirate boltmen or the group of mercenaries if we went into town? And is it better to stay on the outskirts at this point?
And he said, that's a good question. We won't run into anyone who openly works for Pirate Lord Bowl, just because is now after that great fall where a wizard attacked the king. The king basically said, yours cut off from the kingdom, and we're not going to deal with them anymore. You're an independent state. Until you sort your wizard situation out.
The king was ruthless.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bit of a
well, the king,
a communist.
Yeah.
Corks agrees. He says the king is a terrible man. He's small. He's conceited. He's
small.
He's small. He fears anything. He thinks he should be the ultimate power. He's paranoid. He's the one that brought the Udai and the Orcs down, cut them, turned them into these impoverished people through his laws and that. Basically because Udai and the Orcs were plains people that lived in the north. They had these huge plains that they lived in, but then when the ice started to retreat, I don't know if I've told you the story of the ice either, but there's ice coming down here. And he's loving it. He's got all this story. He said, anyway, the ice pushed all these refugees into Winter's Edge, which is this coastline, and the king was like, oh yeah, we've got heaps of room. You can stay in these plains and you can live on these plains. But the ice kept pushing and the refugees came, and then there were humans and dwarves that lived in the cities in the north too, that got pushed out of their cities. The whole cities got overrun with ice, and then with the ice came the monsters. So more humans came, and suddenly the king's like, oh, there's too many people here. We're going to send all you Udai and Orcs off to a new land. We're going to put you in boats. We found a new land for you. You guys go that way. And the Orcs were like, hey, you gave us all this land over here. By the way, we're going through this land that the Orcs claim to own. But the King of Rulon says, no, I own it again now. So it's touchy. We're going to be going through there at some point. And so, yeah, he's the one that's brought the Udai and the Orcs. He's laid them low. Udai aren't meant to be living in the cities. They're plains people. And yeah, there's all sorts of rumours about what happened to those refugees as well, who got sent to other lands. I don't know if you heard any of that. So he says, the king. This is a big reason why the Black Ring Reavers are thriving, really, because soldiers and that are sick of being led by weak-chinned nobles who have been inbreeding for generations. And they think warriors should be, warrior kings should be ruling the land. So all these disgruntled soldiers are leaving armies and joining this mercenary cult that says might makes right. And if you've got a strong arm and a shield, you're going to find your place in this world. Yeah. He's very happy to be telling lots of stories.
So being an Udai, am I going to be shunned upon if you go into the city? Is it better to stay on the outskirts?
You won't be treated like a human will be treated. There are Udai in the city. They have lots of travellers coming and going. The open wall is the first part of the city. When you're in there, is just open to travellers. People can come and go. The second wall, that's the nobles area. That's where the knights and the aristocracy and the king live. There's no way you can get in there. He says, but yeah, most people avoid. It's a well-ordered city. There's towns guards, and a lot of people just avoid it and stay in the small cities, small towns. The small towns have blacksmiths and tanners and their own middle marketplaces and stuff in there. I think you'll be all right. I don't know if you don't put a foot wrong. As I say, they're very strict. You break a law, they come down hard on you, and they'll probably come down harder on you.
So outskirts?
Outskirts.
Yeah.
Let's go to the big construct bar.
Okay, Rusty Jack's.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
That sounds good.
He says, excellent, it's one of my favourite places. Now, excuse me, there's a bartender there called Rusty Jack because of his red hair, and he makes the best homebrew beer, but we're not sure if he's called Rusty Jack or if the construct was called Rusty Jack and he's just taken on the name. I don't know why I told you that. It's not important. Okay, we'll head to, it's called Southgate because it's the town that rests near the south gate of the wall. We'll go in there and see if we can get a room at Rusty Jack's.
Cox, you sure know a lot.
I've been around, so I'm 150 years old. you make your way to Southgate. And Cork slowly rolls the wagon and comes up to the side of this huge wall. You can see it's about 3 or 4 stories high, just sheer cliff that's been well carved and put together stonework. Looks really thick. You can see guards patrolling along the top, their small little helmets glinting in the sun. And below that, in the shadow, is this city that's almost built up to, small town. It's almost built up against the wall, some of the shacks, and you can see this huge construct. It's so close to the height of the wall, it's reaching out with one hand, a metal hand that's weathered and rusted in the air, as though it was about to touch the wall. And that carries on down, and to the legs you can see there's a building that's been built all around it, and even the rib cage area has been refurbished and leathered over with walls and almost sail-like features around it. And Cork says, "There it is, Rusty Jack's. Ain't she a beauty?" He says, "When we stay in that rib cage up there in the rooms."
No one was just like,
Yeah, it's quite a sight. And around it you can see a little town has been formed. There's as you guys are arriving, you can see people are finishing their work in the fields and starting to make their way. There's lots of little houses all scattered around that people are going in, but around Rusty Jack's there's a sort of open courtyard area with lots of tables and that, and farmers are starting to come in and sit down, and they're waving to each other, and some are coming in holding 4 or 5 beers and sitting down with some of their friends and having a drink at the end of the day. Hard work. They look healthy, they look happy. Doesn't seem to be too much aggression. You do notice as you rock up that there is a group of the Blackwing Reavers sitting at a table. They're just sitting around. They glance as you come in, but they don't seem to take you in or anything like that. Yeah. All right, you guys, fuck off. And you can tell them from their dull black armour with feathers poking out of the shoulder guards, and they look like the grim sort of soldier types. There's no one else there that catches your eye except one huge fellow who's sitting in a table by himself in a corner. He's got a bearskin cloak, long bushy black hair and a big bushy beard, and he's just nursing a drink as he sits down there. He doesn't look like a farmer or anything. And beyond that you can see this sort of tall, lanky, red-headed, red-beard, kind of wild-eyed guy working at the bar there, and he's joking around with some of the patrons there, and they're all buying these beers there. And Cork says, "You guys grab a table, and I'll grab us our first round of the homebrew, the Rusty Jacks." Everything here is called Rusty Jack, please.
I'm gonna wave cheerfully at the Blackwing Reavers as if I know them, and just like, hey, and then just ignore them after.
Yeah, they look at you for a little while. And Arthur thinks you're in with them. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Corks to the bar.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you wander along with Corks. What do the rest of you do?
We go find a table.
yeah.
Steer Daggett, you know.
Are you?
Well, not super, not like.
He'll be like his hand up, like and just opening his
Yeah.
fingers, looking through the
I'm not like trying to antagonize them, but
You've just got
Really
this general
mad. Like, I just
animosity to them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
red mists coming.
yeah.
yeah.
Did you guys tell the story of why you hate them?
Did,
I can't remember.
maybe not. I probably would have told you on that.
Yeah.
After we randomly beat up this first one.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably would have
Yeah.
explained.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we're missing in the rides that we can just assume you guys chat about and bond with a bit over time. Okay, so you guys settle down at table, and Corks and Big O, 2 gnomes, wander their way up to the bar.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, this construct, you're saying that it like reaches out to touch the first wall, right?
Yeah.
How far away would you say roughly, like, it's arm-ish?
If you wanted to make a jump.
Yeah, like roughly.
Yeah. It'll be a dangerous jump, but makeable.
Okay.
Corks even will say that Rusty Jack is famous because it was the one that got closest to the wall, and it's said that the king stood there at the wall as this huge thing reached out to it while he watched his armies that were all vanquished over the fields because they had been trying to stop these things and were just destroyed and decimated. And he had only a few of his men left standing on this wall, and this reached out to him and almost touched him. Well, that's the king's story. I know some people have said he was hiding behind his soldiers pissing his pants, which I probably believe more, but yeah. There have been a few people try and make that jump. Some of them do it, some of them don't.
How far would you say it is?
I'd say it'll be
That's an important question.
Oh yeah, for you. Yeah. No, you'd be almost automatic if you use your special feature. What's a good long jump distance? And like you don't need to be Olympian.
What is your jump? Is your jump half your speed?
I know Pathfinder really covers it well.
I think
There is a
it's like the long jump is based on how far you move before you jump.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but I'd say it'd be for a normal person, it'd be a 15 plus athletics check. And it's quite tricky to get up along the arm and everything as well.
It's like I've got good acrobatics, so.
Yeah. So yeah, this is totally something you can try if you like.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go to the bar with corks.
Yeah.
Just to see Rusty Jack and be like, introduce myself, stuff like that.
And he sees you two little guys. He goes, "Hey, you two youngsters, got any ID there?" Just a joke from old Rusty Jack. What I can get you?
Oh, I heard you got the best beers in town, eh? I've tried a lot of beer before, bro, but I tell you what, if yours is the best, I'll buy this bar around, eh? No, actually, how much is the...
You see every farmer.
Actually, how much are your beers per pint?
1 silver piece per pint.
Oh, that's easy, I'll buy the bar around now, mate.
And you hear, "Hey!" Everyone's been listening, and he says, fine. And he starts counting people, and he says, shall we just call it a gold?
Yeah.
Which is what, 100 silver pieces? Yeah. But easy, we'll just say it's a gold. He says the gold will cover a few rounds and you'll be the most popular guy here.
Oh, sounds good to me, bro.
Yeah.
I really like what you've done with the place. Never seen anything like this before. Are you a bit of a betting man? Has anyone climbed this?
Well, it's funny you should say that. There is a pot going at the moment, and he points to a little jar at the end there. He says, "You put a gold coin in. If you make the jump, get through the town without getting arrested by the guard, because they frown on this. And get back here, you get the jar." And you can see it's got a lot of gold in it. And he says, "It's about 75 gold," which says there's 75 people that either didn't make the jump or didn't get through the town.
Pretty up for that, eh?
Awesome. Have a few more beers and we'll get you.
Because that'll help.
Yeah. Because what's your speed like these days as a monk? It's pretty good, isn't it? Is it special? Yeah.
My speed is it's 35 feet is my walking speed.
That's good.
But the thing is that with my monk action, I get Step of the Wind.
Yeah.
Which doubles my jump
There you
distance.
go. Yeah. Oh, it just doubles your jumping distance.
It doubles my jump distance.
Okay. So that's going to make you pretty much automatic. We might say there's a 5 DC on making it. But the other thing we'll also say is this beer can be used as a potion of advantage for you.
Cool.
Which only means that when you drink it once, the whole thing is one charge, and it'll just give you advantage on your next roll because
Cool.
you've got confidence.
How long would you say it would last for?
It wouldn't be long. It's like because it's a cheap beer.
Yeah.
We'd say 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could take one up there with you. And
Yeah, I was gonna see if you wanted to make a bet about me bringing the beer back along with jumping across and making it through the city
without spilling a drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. So yeah, he'll say, "Lad, this is amazing," and And he says, "Are you going to do it? Because I'll shout it out to everyone, and they'll put in money in the kitty."
Yeah. Be like, I'll tell you what, bro. I'll buy the bar another couple of rounds.
Yeah. We'll say this special beer is 1 gold.
Yeah.
This is his special brew he keeps up, and the one you bought around it, the silver piece ones.
Yeah.
So if you want to get the special beer, it's 1 gold.
I'll buy the bar a second round, and I'll definitely get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to announce to the bar that I'm doing it, and if they want to chip in just for a laugh, then feel free. But I'm keen to give it a go.
Okay, cool. So the funny thing is, you three are sitting at the table.
and there's like
Trying to keep a
3
low
beers
profile.
3 beers, but then Rusty Jack starts ringing a bell at you and says, "We've got a jumper!" And he says, "Not only is this guy here," and he beckons you to come stand on top of the bar. Because otherwise no one can see you. Big O, you suddenly see Big O get up on the bar and he says, "Not only is this guy going to make the leap, but he's going to run through the town, get back here without spilling a drop of his beer. Anyone who's in on this, come and fill up the kitty jar. It's never been done before. It's going to be a first in Rusty Jack's." Who's in it? You can see all the farmers are laughing and they're loving it, and they're fishing into their pockets on the silver and that they've saved on these 2 rounds of beer. And he's like, "Oh my God, we're going to have to get another jar." But they're filling it with silver pieces, and he puts another jar up, and they're all coming in. I'm not quite sure how the betting works. They put all this in. And he says, "Yeah, this is just to encourage you more than anything. It's a spectacle." And we'll say, if you don't do it, you have to shout everyone 3 more rounds around the bar.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says, "Well, you want to try it now, or?"
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Can I buy 2 of the special beers?
Yeah, sure.
Because I want to have one in the like the actual tankard or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want one in the like my hip flask.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. We're getting almost, in those. I quite like the idea in those drunken master movies. They have those gourds.
Yeah,
that people have. You could have a heap of those sort of
Yeah.
around you that you can just swig as you go, sort of thing.
I'll look over at Nibbles and it's like, and if you want to avoid attention, just stay like 10 feet behind and you're fine.
Yeah, so all eyes on Big O. You guys are not quite sure what's going on, but apparently he's going to try and jump something and run through the city. With,
Sounds like university orientation week.
Cool. So, he says, "I'll walk you up to the arm entrance. There is a barrier there, which I'll get rid of. It's just to stop idiots trying to jump off it."
Good to know.
Yeah, and we'll give it a go. Let's get a few rules so we just know what we're dealing with.
Okay, just a sec. So how much gold am I down now? So I bought like 2 rounds?
We're going to say to give 2 rounds to the entire bar was a gold, because it's the cheap stuff, the silver piece, and then you bought 2 more, so 3 gold.
There's
3
10
gold.
silvers and a gold.
Oh, is there 10 silvers?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Let's make it 4 gold,
Okay.
and everyone's happy. And if you do this, you're going to actually win quite a bit.
Cool. Right, so I'm
if
down
you
to
fail, you could be in prison.
Fine by me, bro. It's all good. Yeah, cool. Okay, sweet. So yeah, give me the... let's do these rules, bro.
Okay, so if you do a step of the wind, and if you drink with advantage, you just got to beat a DC athletics check of 5, just because you double your jumping distance.
Yeah.
So there's guards at the top. We'll make it a stealth roll to get onto the wall without being seen. If you do get seen, a chase ensues, but we'll let you do stealth rolls until you're seen.
Yeah.
Let's say you almost need 10 successful stealth rolls to not... Well, we'll say there's going to be a certain point where you're just a guy walking through the city with a beer. So we'll say if you make 3 successful stealth rolls, you work your way work your way from the top wall down the inner stairs down into the streets, and then we'll say you're pretty good. But if you fail those 3 stealth rolls, I'll roll for their perception against you, and we'll say they've got +3 to perception because they're guards keeping an eye out. Then they will say that you're a guy who's invading their city.
It's the gnome with a beer. He's invading.
Yeah, and so then we'll say if you have to run with your beer, you also have to make we could say sleight of hand or something to not spill any beer.
Dex save.
A dex save, perhaps.
Dexterity save will probably be pretty good. Dex or sleight of hand, whatever.
So we'll also base it on your movement speed too.
Yeah.
So let's say you run a controlled 35 feet, but if you dash as well, that's you going all out using your action to dash. So we'll say that puts you at disadvantage.
Okay. And
we'll just make it a flat check of we'll say running. It'll be quite tricky. We'll say 13, DC of 13.
Cool. Yeah. Whatever,
and you make a dex save at disadvantage if you're going faster than your if you're double dashing, basically. If you're doing your walking speed and an action to dash. Step of the wind, you can't dash as well? I think you can.
No, it is that you can dash. Essentially, step of the wind is you can spend a key point to disengage or dash as a bonus action. So essentially, I could dash twice.
Yeah.
And your jumping distance is doubled for the turn.
I see. So, and how many key points have you got?
2.
So you'd use one for your jump.
Yeah. And
then you'll have one spare if you need to do a big burst of speed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just roll some dice and see what happens. Okay, so...
Can we all watch from somewhere?
Yeah, everyone, and it's so true, everyone gets up on their tables and gathers around the feet of Rusty Jack, where they can see this hand stretching out and they can see the gap between the 3-story wall. Occasionally you see a glint of helmets as they walk by. Rusty Jack, the bartender, takes you up to this point where there's this door that's got a danger written in red ink, danger, stay out, and he says, I don't even like this, and he opens it and he's like, right lad, off you go. And you can see it starts off inside the arm. It's like a cavernous almost rib cage that snakes its way, and you can see that it starts to lead towards the forearm.
Cool. So I'm going to open that flask for the beer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pretend to drink it. Okay?
Yeah.
Put it back down, look back around, give the boy a wink. And then, I'm just going to gun it for that edge.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a key point to do Step of the Wind.
Cool. So, have we got a glass full of beer in one hand?
Yeah. So, mug in one hand and then...
And what's the strategy behind pretending to drink the beer?
I just want to hold on to the beer because I might want to use it later if it's giving me advantage.
Cool, awesome.
Because I feel like I can make that jump step of the wind. I don't want the advantage on that.
Yeah. So with a DC 5, and it's an athletics check. So do you get a bonus on your athletics?
I've just got a +1 to athletics.
Poor George. So.
Because wasn't the DC 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you roll 4 or higher.
Shit.
Okay. It's a 3-story drop, which probably wouldn't be too bad. I think it's a D6 for every 10 feet you fall.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And you haven't got a monk ability to slow your fall yet, have you?
No.
You get that at some
bit
point.
later, yeah.
You don't have all the parts.
So I've just really got to hope for something higher.
Yeah, so let's set the scene.
It's all
Can I position myself underneath this thing just in case?
Yeah, you move and...
Actually, I might just drink the beer.
Yeah, Rusty Jack goes, that's smart, lad. All right, so you take a swig. You had a few doubts, but suddenly you feel your courage gets up and you think, man, I make this in my sleep. And you start to make your slow run towards it, holding a beer in one hand, keeping it balanced. The forearm opens up and you come out across what's like a long plank of iron that comes to an extended finger that is also made of segmented iron that's rusted together, and you can see as you glance down, you see the dizzying heights, and you can see all these farmers and these guys gathered below, pointing and cheering as you make your way, hit the edge of the fingernail, and leap.
Lucky that I took that shit. 14. 15, yeah.
Yeah, so first roll was a 2, and the second roll 14 plus 1.
DC 5 sounds easy until you're steering
Until
it.
you see it too. Holy shit.
Okay, and so you stumble slightly as you're going, but then you right yourself and leap, and you guys just see this perfectly flawless leap as this little gnome clears the gap and lands on the wall, and he leans over still holding his beer, and everyone cheers because not a drop's been spilt yet. Let's make a stealth check, and I'll make a perception check for the guards in the area. 15.
15.
Let's call it a roll off and go again. A 10.
Shit. An 8.
Okay, you hear a yell. Hey! There's a gnome with a beer on our wall. And you can hear people say, "You stop there!" And you can see a wandering group of 2 guards that have been wandering along the wall, and they just round a corner as you land, and you cheered the crowd, and they start to run towards you, moving at say 25 feet. They're heavily armoured, and they say, "Stop! Stop!"
So what do I see around me? Like, what's on the other side of the wall?
Okay, so the wall is actually quite thick. Let's say it's almost the thickness of this room, which is, what, about 10 feet? 10 feet wide. And from where they've come, it's just extended off for ages, and you can see that there's stairways beyond them. And then you quickly look the other way, and you can see that this wall carries on for a bit, and you'll be heading, because this town is called Southgate because it's near a southern gate. You can see that if you're heading south, you'll be closely coming up to where the gate is, and there's a set of stairs going down there. You don't know, well, you can sort of see it doesn't lead straight to the gates, it leads into the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about, like, on the other side of the wall? Like, what kind of drop are we talking here? Is it, like, straight up the same height?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's not, like, higher up or...
No, it's everything's settled down at ground height around it as well.
Mm.
It does start to rise up as it goes towards this castle in the distance.
Yeah.
So that the whole town is on a slope. So you get the feeling that the richer you are, the higher up. But yeah, where you are at the southern gate, everything's quite flat as it comes through. So it's a 3-story drop either side.
Okay. I'll just start gassing in the other direction.
Okay, so yeah, they're slower than you, but when you start to run, one of them pulls out a horn and just blasts it. And further on down, we'll say there's a room, sort of a tower,
Yeah.
and you see a guard stick his head out to hear what it is, and say, yeah, we'll have you have to make a athletics check versus an athletics check to get to the stairway and get down.
Cool.
And how fast are you going to be going as well?
Oh, well, because they can only go 25 feet, I'll just be going normal.
Okay, and while holding your beer.
While holding my beer, yeah.
So yeah, you still have to make a what did we decide? A DC 13 on a beer, but it was going to be disadvantage if you are
If I'm...
sprinting.
Yeah.
So you're going at normal speed, you still got to roll. And it was a dex save. What was your dex save?
Dex save is +3.
+3. So yeah, if you don't want to spill this beer, you've got to roll a 10 or higher.
Okay. Yep, it's 11.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say for that one, that's great. You start to move quickly, not at your full speed as you're concentrating on the beer. Quite a spectacle for these guards, seeing how much you're concentrating on the beer. And let's do a contested athletics. Here we'll
Didn't you say acrobatics?
Oh, you can do acrobatics if you want to, because we can also say that you might slide down these stairs before you get sprint. Before you do a hard sprint to them, you might come up with a way to sort of almost.
You got to slide while holding a beer.
That's right.
Full time.
So he's going to do an athletics, this guard, and if he gets to it, it just means he's going to try grab you.
Yeah. Okay.
He rolls a 10.
A 10 as well.
Okay, contested roll. We'll go again. Oh, 18.
20.
Okay, he puts in a burst, but you come and, as we say, you slide along one knee as he reaches out for you, and you go under while you're watching your bear in slow motion, and you land on the first lot of steps and start to make your way down, and the other soldiers are coming along too. So we'll say they all start to form and come down these stairs, and you've got to roll another thing to keep your drink balanced.
Okay.
A deck save, but you're pulling away. You are faster.
Okay, cool. So another deck save. So I've got +3 to dex. 17.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you get down to the bottom of the stairs. You see it's still full. You're coming into the town. They don't have guards and stuff in town. So what I'm going to say is that's fantastic. You've avoided the guards. You've run through. Horns are blowing, but they have no way of communicating that they're after a gnome holding a beer. And yeah, you disappear into the streets. Let's just do you can do a survival or nature check just to see if you can figure out how to find your way back to the gate straight away.
Straight away. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess none of us see any of this.
No, well, you might actually see some silver helmets suddenly bobbing along the wall, but yeah, you don't see what Big O's doing because he's 2 feet tall. You might even see a bear just going alongside the wall.
So sorry, what was it? A survival or a nature?
Yeah, whatever's best.
I'll just do survival because it's +2.
Just say over.
That's an 8.
Yeah, 10. So you quickly, once you hit the streets, you live in streets, towns all your life, you know your way around, and yeah, we can say you happily cheers the guards at the gate as you walk past holding your beer, and you guys see Big O around the corner jogging lightly with his beer, and suddenly all the farmers cheer, go, oh my god, I don't believe it, he did it, he did the infamous bear run jump through the city, and that becomes a thing. And Rusty Jack says, fair's fair, here you go, and he pushes you a jar, and we'll say there's 80 gold in that jar.
Fuck yeah. Sorry for that tangent voice.
Diverted attention.
Yeah.
Arthur now stands up. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, all right, mate.
Could have gone horribly wrong if you didn't drink the
Fuck, imagine that. It's like, I've got this. Straight down.
force to his death. New character.
So yeah, I'll buy a few more rounds for the bar.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that stuff,
So-
and then just, yeah.
Big O was a hit tonight. Everyone gathers around, they ask what happened in the city, how you avoided the guards. And yeah, it's a simple story, but you can choose how much you embellish it. And even as time goes on, Corks is telling the story to people. And it's like, yeah, he had to fight a few off, and you know. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the story is the next time. It's going to be like 50 guys.
Yeah. So, and yeah, as it settles down a bit, people still are clapping you on the back and that for buying them beers and for doing this amazing jump. Rusty Jack he loves you, he thinks you're amazing, but you're joining these guys back at the table. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss at this point? Corks sits down and says, once we leave tomorrow, we're actually leaving civilization, and we'll be and sorry, I know you want to do some stuff here too. You can still sell your sword here if you want to visit a blacksmith.
I think I gave that to the last barkeep.
Your sword?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to get rid of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Was it? But you wanted to visit a market for something, right?
I wanted to see if I could find like some magical way to disguise, but I know that magic's quite rare in this area.
Won't happen here.
Yeah.
So sorry. So it's a small town, as I say. It's got the blacksmith. It's got people going. You're gathered around the table, and Corks explains. Yeah, once we leave Rulon, we travel along a road towards a place called Wildgate. It's the northernmost city left in WintersEdge, and it guards basically the gateway into this wild wasteland that's been iced over and is now just full of creatures, and it's bad news. But before we get to Wildgate, we veer off into the plains where it's contested with the orcs, basically. Most of the orcs have been peaceful up to now, but there's always been grumblings that the land's been taken off them and they think it's their land and it's coming to a head. We go through those plains and we'll be coming up to hitting the Cold Catch Mountains, where we look for a path to the monastery from there.
How long will it take us?
It should be about 2 to 3 days in the plains. And yeah, it's be rough living. We can either just camp under the wagon or get some tents and stuff if we want to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything that could like make our journey easier that would be more helpful for the road?
Yeah. Well, we can pick up supplies, and again, we can go into the city and buy whatever we need. It's a huge city, so if you guys can think of anything that you'd want, tents would be good. Bedding maybe for the wagons.
Are you going to make us pay for food?
No, I'm funding the expedition, so it's all good. But yeah, if you guys need more comfort, I'm happy just sleeping under a wagon.
Yeah.
The only problem is they're called the Cold Catch Mountains because they're the part where the ice flows have hit and stopped. So that starts to get a bit chilly once we hit those mountains. So yeah, maybe we need to pick up some warm weather gear, and I can just say if you guys each spend 2 gold, you can
Kit ourselves up.
yeah,
Sweet
Yeah.
big old jacket or something.
I was
Yeah.
reading the Rime of the Frost Maiden stuff, and it's like the warm weather gear is so important, or cold
Yeah.
weather gear, right? It's,
yeah. I think one of these corks is a cork of warmth as well, which can be
Of course it
handy. Yeah.
Zev,
Yo.
what kind of magic was in these constructs?
I don't know exactly. Something to trap spirits. It's long before my time.
Or souls, maybe?
Yeah. Souls, spirits, what's the difference?
That's a good point. Can I talk to a little cork?
Yeah. Do you want to do it in front of these guys or?
Well, I talk it to it telepathically.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, so
Hi.
who are you?
I'm good. Good to hear you again.
Yeah. How'd you get in here?
I had this and died and went into it. I don't know what's been happening. I don't know how long I've been in here, but I'll be pretty happy to get out.
Do you think you could, if I pushed you up against another object, you could maybe jump into it?
No. No. I need to be released. There's a ritual and stuff. People know how to do it. If you just find someone to do that, I'll be out.
Find someone to do a ritual.
Yeah.
How long have you been
Where
in
am
there?
I? Where are we? Yeah. Where are we, by the
I'll
way?
explain where we are.
Winter's Edge. Oh, I didn't start out here. Yeah. I heard of it. They were trying to settle it, but had been failing miserably. So is that still going on?
I think it's been a few years since then, yeah.
Oh no. So maybe my kids are all grown up.
I think maybe your kids' kids may have grown up.
Oh, so I'm a great-grandpa. Oh, my kids will be dead. What year is it? And you can tell me.
Tell them whatever year it is.
He goes, oh my God, it's been over 500 years.
500 years.
I have to relook at my timeline. But yeah, it's been centuries. Anyway, for this guy.
So what you're telling me, meta knowledge, is that these corks of power have been around for centuries.
Yeah.
Are you talking into your hand while you're doing
It's
this?
telepathic.
Right.
Yes.
So you're
I'll
just
just be. I'll be making weird faces.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You mean, yeah. 500 years! I'll
Okay.
yell out. and he's oh, I need to be released from here. Will you help me?
Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to be able to help you right now.
Okay.
Because nobody around here really does magic. Because there was a king. There's a whole story. I'll fill you in a bit later. My buddy Corks told it to me.
Corks. Okay. What's he into?
He's
Model sailing ships for some reason.
So, did you collect these corks? This cork, you're on a cork right now. You know that, right?
It's vague memory. You lose track after 500 years of what exactly happened. Yeah,
Okay.
but I honestly I can't remember how I ended up here. I know I died.
Did you use magic or anything like that, or were you just like a?
I know some magic. I can teach you magic if I get out of here.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, 500 years. Hold on. When did all that stuff happen?
Which stuff?
Yeah, the wizards and the city.
That was only 50 years.
Oh, 50
ago.
years. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, Winter's Edge is it's kind of newly settled. It was settled, I think, I haven't got my timeline in front of me, but I think it was 300 years ago, and then that was just sort of whalers and
Yeah.
settlers. But then there was, you've sort of seen that history thing.
I'll just be like, okay, cool. Well, I can't really help you right now, but maybe I'll talk to you again when I can find someone who can help.
Yeah, keep me in mind whenever you come across a soul releasing type situation.
Yeah, I hear they're really common, so yeah, like, yeah,
I can imagine after 500 years it must be just happening everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Are there flying cars?
What's a car?
Yeah, ignore that. Yeah. So you can tune in and talk to this guy at any time. Because you wear the cork attached to you, right?
Yeah.
He can also tune in and talk to you too.
Okay.
Might be useful if you need really old information or lore as well. Don't know how useful. He's been out of the loop for a long time, but you never know.
I think it might be he'll be all right, I think.
Cool. Anyone else want to have a conversation or start to make your way to your rooms?
What can we see of the inside of the construct? What does it look like?
It is very bare bones. You might be looking for something that would contain a spirit or something like that, mate.
I think Zest is fascinated by how they work.
Yeah. So it's very hard from this to even see how it would work. It's, as I say, very bare bones, like things have just been hammered together or roughly screwed in, or there might be magical marks where things have been welded together. But everything just seems frozen, and there doesn't seem to be any control points or there wouldn't be anyone inside that seems to pilot or anything like that.
So no actual obvious joints or anything like that.
Yeah, well, there are areas put in place to move.
Yeah.
And they've all rusted over, but it's not like, say, that if it moved, the metal would magically bend and stuff like that. It would still be very rigid.
Is there any dwarvish women around by any chance?
Let's roll. Shall we say dwarves are actually quite common in Winter's Edge. The first settlers were humans and dwarves because diamonds were discovered in the north, and that whole area, as the humans pushed forward, the ice retreated and everything thrived, and these dwarves came in their masses to set up underground dwarven cities and mines and everything. So they still stick around because once the ice returned, lots of refugees, including dwarves, came in. So we'll say under 15 there's a dwarf, and then I'll go 50-50 to see if it's a woman or a guy. So that's a 16 though. So yeah, no dwarfs in the town. Except for Arthur.
So Arthur Big O Secret was still a virgin. And well, I learned a lot at the sea, so maybe I can help you out.
I think we'll be alright.
You ever been with a rabbit?
That's totally not what I meant.
I think I can help you out, bro.
Awkward silence falls over the table.
Then was drunk a lot.
Yeah. So, eventually you guys very popular in the tavern. People come over and join your farmers, quite interested in hearing what you guys are up to, where you're going. How in depth would you be with a question like that?
I think Nibbles would be real vague.
Yeah.
Purely because of everything that's happened. But
Yeah. Corks picks up on that and says, we're just heading up to Wildgate, try our luck up there. And then I go, Wildgate. And they actually ask, are you guys going to try be adventurers in Wildgate?
Wow. Is that what we're doing?
There is no try, mate.
Right, yeah.
You
Not
either
for
do
the
it,
beer
you either
run.
take the leap or you don't.
That's right. Not for the beer run. But he says, most people when they head up to Wildgate, they look for a Patreon to sponsor them for the adventures in the north. It's quite a lucrative deal to go through those old cities that have been abandoned. And
that'd be really good because then we can, take all our knowledge back to the Adventurers Guild we were going to set up with our friend Captain
Winters.
Captain Winters. Yeah,
Yeah, that guy.
He says, well,
I haven't seen him in ages. He's still around,
He
right?
doesn't know.
No, you know because we looted his ship.
I know he's dead.
yeah,
He's dead.
No, pretty sure we would have told him.
Yeah.
at some point. But it's tricky when you...
Because
Yeah.
He's just in denial.
Yeah.
We can
He's
play
not
that
lying.
out. That's cool. Maybe he doesn't know, and it's just been because you've been in a rush. You've hardly been listening to things after that trip thing. So that can hit you like a because you got on quite well with Captain Winters.
Nibbles is sad now.
Yeah, it's just not been good, eh?
it makes you feel better. I got his
Had a
maps.
hard time, eh?
Yeah.
At least the Duke's alive and thriving
Yeah.
in your. You can,
I miss that guy.
at least one of you guys is making a go of it. Yeah.
Who would we talk to about the patrons?
It's really interesting. These competing patrons, sometimes they'll have adventure sort of. They'll take you on trial basis and give you some basic ones and see if your guys are up to it and the kind of guys that they want to sponsor. There's 5 big league ones that are very hard to break into, but there's a lot of smaller patrons looking to hit pay dirt with a up and coming adventure guild group of adventurers that could help them make money and find something.
I mean, Big O just made like 80 gold.
Oh yeah, he's.
Is that the kind of money we're talking, or should we just go and do acts of daring around the place?
Well, the jar's empty now. You can wait again for it to fill up. And he says, it's a interesting occupation. A lot of people who, especially the farmers that are the refugees that haven't had any other way of making money, they either get into banditry or look at trying to adventure. They lose a lot of people in the north. A lot of cities got frozen over and overrun with hordes of these winter creatures, but a lot got left behind up there, even the dwarven underground cities. There's if you're in Wildgate, you should ask around, he says. So
that's the next city up.
Yeah. So there's basically Yor, which is a seaport. Then you guys have gone to Roulon, which sits in the middle of WintersEdge, which is a long coastline. And then right up here is Wildgate. And that's next to the Cold Catch Mountains. The Cold Catch Mountains spreads along, so all the ice has come down and just stopped there. And this Wildgate actually guards a bridge that goes across this valley. And then you're into these, what they call the wildlands, where you're just on your own, basically.
And the Kinku Monastery is obviously up by the mountains, so we'd have to cross the bridge or something?
No. So the mountains, Wildgate sits between a gap in the 2 mountains where the bridge goes.
Yeah.
So you guys will be going not to Wildgate, you'll be veering off to the west here into the plains and hitting the mountains.
Right.
And in the mountains there'll be a pathway. And then the ice and everything's behind it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a good idea to hit up Wildgate and then just maybe even get some stuff, like any quests or whatever, in relation to where we were going anyway, and then come back.
Okay,
with
that's
2 birds.
Yeah, I'd be pretty keen to go to Wildgate as well. I'm pretty keen to go and talk to a patron.
great.
I mean, if it's pretty much on the way as well.
Yeah, it sounds like it's on the way. So.
Yeah.
Well, Corks said I was planning on veering off early, but we can totally. It's it might add half a day to the journey if we
money, Brady.
if we hit Wildgate. I've never been that far north. Rulan's as far as I've gone. I'd love to see the city. I've heard it's crazy. It's basically an adventuring town.
Yeah.
It's almost, like a university town, but for adventurers trying to find a patron, find a group to join to make the big money and go into this dangerous wildlands.
Is this an adventure right now?
Do you say that to Cork?
Yeah.
He says, lad, life is an adventure.
Yeah, but I mean, really.
We're on an adventure for the Blue Moochie Dooch.
Awesome.
I'm not your patron, though.
I don't care about that.
You're on an adventure, lad.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Can I ask Corks? Have you heard of any extra Corks going around this area? Any Cork rumours?
Cork rumours.
Okay.
There is a cork rumour.
I
don't believe it.
Roll a percentage chance that he knows we're a...
And nearby Corkers.
yeah.
And a
It'll be low. Let's say under 20%. No, 90... 93. He says, no, I'm focused on the Blue Moochie Dooch at the moment. That's the thing about Cork collecting young nibbles. Don't get distracted by the little guys when the Blue Moochie Dooch is there right in front of you. Stay focused. Focused.
So, just to clarify, Corks, are you paying us to come?
Well, I'm financing the trip, and I've given you some corks of power. Was what I was hoping was the payment. Yeah.
Came by your own free will after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to take you to Wildgate as well.
I'd offer to give him 5 of my gold to take us to Wildgate, just because it's inconvenient for him to go.
He says, yeah, and how long are you planning to stay in Wildgate?
I guess we'll get there and have a look.
Yeah.
Maybe just a few days.
He says the Blue Moochie Dooch ritual starts in 2 weeks, so we've got time.
Okay, we've got time.
It's a ritual too?
There's something, I don't know what goes on there, but something creates the Blue Moochie Dooch. And doesn't start out as a Blue Moochie Dooch, they turn it into a Blue Moochie
Is it a
Dooch.
soul release ritual by chance?
You hear, woo, in your head. He says, well, these Kinku monks do deal with spirits. As
Did
you know.
you need to release your soul? What's happening here?
Oh, there's a soul in the cork.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He's talking to me. He's 500 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Take it to the monks, mate.
He doesn't know anything about Winter's Edge.
Yeah, well, they'd help you out with that, surely, yeah. That's kind of one of the things they do.
Yeah, Zeph
Spirits
has a
and-
bit of information on
Yeah.
these monks. He's dealt with them as sort of traders in spirits.
How's Arthur looking? Is he
Grumpy.
getting drunker and angrier?
Yeah, I mean,
Just staring silently at the Reavers while
Yeah,
we
that's still going on.
probably getting more obvious with like the angry stares.
Yeah,
But-
maybe.
starts like whacking your fist.
Yeah, maybe Big O picks up on it a bit. When he's jovial and happy, and when he's there's trouble brewing, the red mist.
I think he's probably smart enough to know that if he fights them this close to the city, there's probably a hell of a lot more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go up to him and be like, Arthur, bro, don't even worry. We're going on a shopping spree tomorrow, and I've got you, boy.
Trying out stuff in front of me, coming out in different outfits.
So yeah, I would like to go into the city the next day, because I think it's like the evening and shit.
Yeah.
I would like to go in and grab some supplies, but I also want to get some gears.
Yeah, like flash gear.
This is like the most money that he's ever had, by a mile.
Yeah. So, we can jump to that. We can say you've gone up into this, stayed in this amazing rib cage, which has been separated into a couple of floors. The buildings are pretty basic. They're just bunk beds and that, but they do have these sort of almost open window views sort of carved out of the leather that's encased this rib cage, and you can see out over the farm fields and watch the setting sun in the distance, and it's an amazing experience for you young guys that have lived in this. You've all lived in cities, you've lived on a small boat, you've seen amazing sunsets and that, but you've never been up this high basically, and stayed in one of these constructs.
Is it higher than the walls? the ribcage?
No, he was reaching up to touch it. So yeah, but the view was out, so it's reaching the wall, and the view is out the back here.
Yeah.
Out over the fields and you've had a amazing evening. Big O, you've made this amazing money, and you're already thinking of, because you at the moment you wear basically sandals.
He's in like
A
a
wife
wife
beater.
beater. He's just been cruising, bro, the whole time, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, we can say you've had that night there. You wake up early. Rusty Jack's back there, and he's got some people cooking up some good basic grub. I mean, this is a farmer's village, so there's all sorts of food. You guys have a really good meal, and Big O's keen to go shopping.
Nibbles might stay behind if you guys go to town.
Yeah.
Cool. So Corks will hang out with you as well. He's probably just sleeping in to be. He'll be sleeping in, and he'll say, we'll head off at about, say, a couple of hours before midday.
I'll ask Nibbles if there's anything that he wants from town.
Alright, just the one with the weather again. I'll just give you 2 gold.
I'll just pay for it, right? So good. I got heaps of cash. Don't even worry about it, mate. It's chump change.
Can we try and find stuff to disguise him?
He's got a black cloak on at this point, but like all you can really do is tie down his ears.
Put a nice big hat on.
Yeah.
Is it more so you don't appear to be a Udai, or because you don't
It's
want
a
to appear?
bit of both at this point.
Yeah.
Now that he's finally realised that Udai are looked down upon, and if he's going to be using magic, he'd rather not look like someone recognisable.
Yeah. Like Corks, let's say you've had this sort of talk with Corks about that. He said, Nibbles, once we get past Rulon, Wildgate is wild. It's got no rules up there, and Udai come and go. It's people there are judged on how good they are at what they do, basically. It's really Rulon is the mecca for anti-magic, anti-Udai, anti-orc. Yours picked up this hatred of magic just because of what it did to the town and the superstition fear it has, whereas Rulon is more regimented against the law type thing. He says, but trust me, lad, once we get past Rulon, we'll be free. You'll be judged on who you are and what you can do.
That'll reassure him a bit, but he's still going to feel uncomfortable to go out of the city.
Yeah.
I've technically got proficiency in disguise kits.
Oh,
I don't know, there'd be like a prosthetic nose. I don't know what to do about the fur or anything, but
Well, you could come
big
with
fake
someone.
glasses and a mustache.
Yeah. So, who's going into the city with Big O?
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Okay. So 3 of you wander in. You're looking for a sort of tailoring shop.
I think I'd go and pick up the warm winter gear, cold weather gear.
Yeah.
So I'd grab like a bit of that for everybody.
Yeah. So you find a sort of fur leather trader who's put together quite a few of these outfits, and he asks you, you're heading north, are you? These do the trick. Sell out of these. And they look like good, rugged, thick leather with the fur interiors still on them, and hoods that you can pull up that have fur sticking out of them. And even a slight waxing across the leather to keep them waterproof and run off. It look very well made, and as I say, 2 gold a pop.
So that's what, like 10 gold all up?
For corks as well. Yeah.
I've already taken my 2 out, so.
Oh, okay, so that'll be 8, so that takes me down to 80 gold. Cool. And then I'll probably go and look for some tents as well. Like just, I don't know, like something that would be useful as opposed to just sleeping under the wagons or like whatever.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of room in the wagon, so you can carry all sorts of stuff like this. We can also say there's a lot of this leather worker. He'll point you to another guy who also works in leather, but in large units of sewed together leather, again waxed. And he has all the setup for it. These poles and sticks, and you can either choose, say, pup tents each for, we'll say, 2 gold each for pup tents, or a larger tent that can fit 4 of you in there. and we'll say that would be 10 gold.
Yeah.
And that's a mixture of canvas and leathers, and also keeps everything warmer.
Yeah.
And,
I'll definitely grab the large tent.
mm-hmm.
What do you guys think, like, in terms of what we should get? Like, I feel like if we're going into actual snow and shit, there could be the potential for, like, avalanches or anything like that.
Climbing rope.
I mean, are you asking me? You're asking Zeph, because Zeph has no fucking idea about the wilderness.
Yeah, no, so
Yeah, no shit.
yeah. So Go doesn't know either,
I don't
so
know
it's
what
like
snow
us
is.
brainstorming stuff.
Probably, yeah, like just some ropes and maybe like a shovel or something.
Yeah. Probably
to
just
dig
some
your way
straight
out.
up utility gear.
Yeah.
Like just some
Yeah.
stuff like that would come in useful, like not too specific, but enough for us to be like, yo,
Cool,
if there's
cool.
a kind of situation like
So
that.
yeah, what I'll do is I'll just write up a heap of stuff. We'll say that'll come to say 5 gold as well if it's not individually each of you having a shovel.
No, it'll be more like we'll just buy like one for the
Yeah,
group.
communal type
Yeah.
situation. So 5 gold for your basic explorer's survival equipment.
Yeah.
So that involves the rope that all of you probably got already, but there'll be other things that involved there, and we can just say if we come across situations like that, we'll just say you've
Got
bought. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll say that costs another 5 gold.
Cool. That sounds.
And yeah, Corpse also mentions, there are, once we get to Wildgate, there are more magical type things you can buy.
Yeah, so like
Well,
potions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I was going to ask about that just in case, because I don't think any of us are really healers, are we?
Uh,
Sorry for like metagaming.
No, it's-
Yeah.
I can heal. I've deliberately taken a bunch of healing stuff.
Okay, cool.
It's just I got killed last time.
Yeah, and Groth, mate.
I've
could
also,
too.
I can also create. I've got like create bonfire and stuff, so we're sorted into.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I can do fire as well.
Oh, cool.
Cool. And then I guess I just want to go and get some more gears.
Yeah, so you talk to this guy about maybe a more styly tailor type thing, and he says, we'll send you to the cut above. It's a... just made that up. Is that good, or is that a hair salon?
I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, we'll send you to the cut above, and they'll see you right. And he gives you directions and everything, and you walk in, and there's this sort of tall elf man, and he looks at you and says, Sir, come in. And says, what will you be looking for?
Oh, hey bro, my name's Big O. This is my mate Arthur. We know
Arthur.
nothing about fashion. I mean, look at what I'm wearing.
I can see that. Very summer casual, isn't it?
This is also my mate Zeph. He's blue. I don't know what you can do about that complexion, but you can try and work with it.
If we put oranges with you, they will just bring out your colour. It would be amazing. And I've got a jacket, your size.
I think I'm okay with being blue, but I like the sound of the jacket.
And
That's very wise, using a complementary colour scheme to sort out what he's got. I would never have thought of that. But yeah, I think it would be more like this thing of like, that guy's got no fear.
Yeah.
So like, just do
So
whatever
he
you
does
want.
ask, where will you be wanting to make an impression with what you wear?
Oh, look, we're just going to be travelling the wilderness a bit, but it's nice to be like, to look a bit better
Like
than...
where will you be travelling? You'll be going up north?
Yeah, we'll be going up north.
So you'll be going through Wildgate, and you want to maybe make an impression there to potential patrons.
Yeah.
Maybe say that you are heroes. It's Captain Winters.
And I wouldn't have gotten away with it, were for you pesky kids.
Yeah. And so, he starts to bring out these outfits that, they cut a dashing figure. They're not too frilly or frivolous. They're almost got a slight military feel to them, but, sort of strong leather jackets with some buckles and straps. And, it just makes you look like rugged sort of adventurers that have done kind of well for yourself. And he says all of this will come to about, how many people are you buying it for?
Just
Sort of.
us three.
Us 3. So he said it'll come to about 15 gold each for these really nice. That you guys feel really good in them. They fit really well. He tailors them. He
Well, as
cuts
soon as
them.
he says 15 gold, it's like, nah, that's cool. Fine.
Yeah, and
I'll get mine.
mhm. Yeah, so you can even, if you guys want to have a think about how you want it to look,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
ask him and you can say, this is what he's made for me for 15 gold. And yeah, it doesn't have to be the armour that you wear, but it can be an alternative outfit, say, when you rock
'cause-
into towns and stuff.
Yeah, Big O doesn't want armour
Mhm.
because that actually takes away from my AC.
Yeah, so,
I think me
yeah.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say leather, I mean, it wouldn't be like...
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You
It'd
can,
just be something stylish looking.
yeah,
I kind of want to get like a cork insignia
Ooh.
printed into each one, or some stupid shit like that.
That's
You know?
cool, so you're starting to think of like a group theme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got to impress these patrons.
Well, let's say, and I can design it a bit later, Cork does have a very distinctive cork tattoo on him. So that's in a certain shape. And you're looking more for something sort of free-flowing cloth type?
Yeah, no, it can be. I don't mind it being like tight to the body type
Mhm.
thing. I just want it to like just be better than what he's wearing.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
real reasoning behind this. It's
Yeah.
more just like whatever.
The
Like,
cold. Sorry, carry on.
if there's like a little bit of utility to it in the sense that like I could carry a few things on it, like
Mm-hmm.
extra flasks,
Yeah.
or whatever, then cool.
Yeah.
But
We
aside
can-
from that,
Yeah, you can ask him for extra ways of holding flasks and that, and he comes up with some sort of stylish but functional additions that have loops and extra places where you can attach your flask and extra pockets hip bottom. So yeah, you soon find, and because they're quite tight and we'll say it is quite sturdy material, these hip flasks just slide in and sit really well.
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's a good idea. We can, say you can easily
Get
carry,
a belt
say,
with all your hip flasks on, so you can just like
The
pull
cold
out.
weather gear was a separate thing that we went and did, and then you
Yeah.
wanted to upmarket it, right?
so
Yeah.
you've got this functional cold weather gear, and now you've all been, and as he says, he's given you, you're used to being almost a street kid urchin, so to have, again, you can ask for what you want.
Well, he just saw the price tag. He's like, no, it's cool. I'm good.
oh, I'll pay for it.
It's too much for Zeph.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's used to
15 gold is like 6 months.
That's right. Zeph's just too embarrassed. And
Yeah,
he-
Big O is just going off the rails, bro. Like he doesn't know what to do with money. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. And Arthur, you can just sort of decide how you.
Yeah, I have a think, but it's something that makes me look tough.
Yeah, eye patch.
yeah. But either way, I'll pay for it now
Mm-hmm.
for me and Arthur. So
Cool.
is it 15? Eh?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So that takes me down to
and
25.
you can give yourselves guys an alternative outfit and have a think about what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because there could be lots of times it comes up, especially when you're in Wildgate, and you might be wanting to make a good first impression and stuff like
One of you guys knows like a concept artist to design it for you.
Yeah, we only had one of those. And I really like the idea of, so you tell this guy about the insignia and stuff like that, and he shouts out the back. Let's say it just happens really quickly rather than, and he's got embroiderers and stuff, and they come up with these kind of rough but still really nice looking badges, and we can say there's a cork insignia on it. Yeah, that he puts on your 2 outfits.
Yeah. Could I grab like a spare one, like just like the thing just to give to Tone Boy?
And maybe one for corks too.
Yeah.
And he just throws those in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you all got cork badges. And you guys come back and Corks is ready to go, and we can say the next stage of your journey starts in 2 weeks.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Once I plan out Wildgate. That was really cool. I enjoyed that because I thought I've been putting you guys on rails a bit too much, so I thought I'd just play loose and see what you guys want to do. And
I was looking forward to those constructs actually.
Yeah, those constructs are cool. I quite like that and seeing what's going to happen with them. Just because you guys are like magic users as well. Like if you could bring them to life, that'd
I
be
was low key just like
I mean,
could shove
I
the
haven't
cork
used
into it.
anything besides I think one cantrip so
Yeah.
far. Although like I have a lot already, but
Yeah, I was low key hoping I could just shove the cork into it and the construct would start moving.
just go straight through the wall.
Yeah.
put it up against another cork and
And just be like, guys, we've got to leave now.